Hi everyone, I'm Dale Smith, aka Journo Dale, and we're here to talk about Canadian politics. For my final video of 2025, I took a cue from a little meme that's going around, which is basically Ellie Goulding saying anything can happen. And that was kind of the theme of Canadian politics in 2025, when you think about it. A year ago, Chrystia Freeland had just resigned from cabinet, wounding Justin Trudeau's government, and there was a lot of questions about whether he could hold on, and this sense of inevitability that Pierre Poilievre was going to win a massive majority, and it was just a question of how many seats. They were, already measuring the drapes in the PMO, so to speak, and that was kind of the inevitable course that it felt that we were on. And then everything changed. Trudeau stepped down, Mark Carney became the leader fairly sweepingly, and they had an election immediately, and he won just shy of a majority. And it was absolutely not what anyone was expecting a year ago. And it kind of gives you a sense about how, things can change rapidly in politics, and how personalities can matter, campaigns can matter, and nothing is really inevitable. And I think that's an important lesson to learn. And I think that this is something that we should kind of take to heart in this particular moment, given everything that's going on in the world. I think that's something we really should reflect on as we look forward to what's coming up in the new year. There's a couple other things that I thought were just interesting surprises from the past year. The one being, of course, the king showing up for the speech from the throne. We haven't had that in several decades. And it was also unexpected because these things normally are months in the planning, and this one was weeks. Yes, it was a visit that was less than 48 hours, but it also kind of set a template for how we could do these future spot visits in the future. And as we try and find differentiations between ourselves and the Americans, focusing on the Canadian crown is a really good one. And I think this was a good reinforcement for why this is something that makes us different as Canadians from the Americans, even from the British, because the Canadian crown operates in a very different way than the UK crown does. And so that was another one of those kinds of surprises from this year that, we were unexpected. It was unexpected, and it was a good thing for all of us to kind of see. On the other spectrum of unexpected was to see the UCP in Alberta essentially become a de facto separatist party. This is in no small part because Jason Kenney and then Danielle Smith had essentially invited these people into the party, who then turned and attacked them. Danielle Smith is still trying to placate them in a way that Kenney couldn't with. It's the same crowd. I mean, when we spoke with Jared Wesley last week, he said it was the anti-vaxxers in particular that got rid of Kenney. But I think you'll find that if you put the anti-vaxxers and the Alberta separatists on a Venn diagram, it's almost a perfect circle. So it was the same crowd. Who are now pulling Danielle Smith's strings, much as they were able to oust Kenney because he was resisting them pulling his. And again, I don't know that I would ever have necessarily thought that the UCP would become a separatist party. But essentially here we are. Danielle Smith is still denying it. She still makes these noises about, Alberta or a sovereign Alberta in a united Canada or some nonsense phrase like that. But it's nonsense. Everything she's done has been to further the separatist cause. I've written all about her reasons for doing that. But again, the fact that they have gone full out, essentially full out separatist. It has been another one of those really surprising things from 2025. And that's going to be a major headache in 2026 as they start calling referendums on all kinds of things, one of which will be on a question of independence, even though they can't really do that because there are things called treaties and they don't own that land. The First Nations do, and that's going to be nothing but constitutional headaches for much of the next year. I will almost certainly guarantee you. But again, as the theme of this episode is, anything can happen. So, I don't necessarily want to make too many predictions for the next year, but I just wanted to kind of point to the fact that everything that we're feeling at this point last year, the sense of inevitability, that Poilievre had already won, that we were going to be saddled with a conservative government who would be dismantling everything, didn't really come to pass. In the same way, I mean, we still sort of did wind up with a conservative-ish government, albeit a slightly more progressive one. It's just the sense that we shouldn't be defeatist about everything. We shouldn't take everything as fait accompli, as everything is inevitable. Things change. Things change rapidly. Things change dramatically. And that's an important lesson to keep in mind for this year and into the next, because it's also a reminder that we as Canadians can affect change, and it's something we really kind of need to get better at doing and organizing in order to affect the change that we want to see. And that's going to be important going forward with everything that's going on around us, around the world, and with liberal democracy under attack around the world, including here at home. These are lessons that we need to learn and internalize and start focusing and acting on, because that's how we're gonna solve the problems that are facing us in the year and years ahead. And that's everything for this week. I'm off for the next couple of weeks, so join me in the new year for some more Canadian politics. I'm Dale Smith. That's at journo_Dale on Twitter and journodale no_ on Bluesky. And don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe, and support us on Patreon. Thanks, guys.